श्री हरप्रीत सिंह जी, डायरेक्टर जनरल, श्री बेनहर महेश दत्त का एडिशनल डायरेक्टर जनरल, श्री Tirupati Rao and other members of the Marri Chennareddy Human Resource Development Institute, officer trainees from across the country, All India and Central Civil Services, my dear youngsters. Today is a very special day. We are celebrating the 125th birth anniversary year of the great son of this great country, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. The government of India has decided to celebrate his birthday as Parakrama Divas, to inspire the people of the country, especially the youth. This is a befitting tribute to Parakram or courage, was the most defining feature of Netaji's persona. Right from his school days, he was sensitive, sharp, and fearless. He opposed injustice in every form. No adversity could ever shake his determination to serve the motherland. He was a charismatic leader. You look at his face, see the personality. Even today, people who have not seen, of course, Netaji, if they see Netaji in a picture or in a television show, they once become suddenly alert. The very personality of Sri Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose is such, it inspires people, patriotism, discipline, dedication, devotion, dynamism, all these. Driven by his patriotic zeal, being charismatic also, he is one of the most towering personalities of our freedom movement. Unbridled love for the motherland made him to resign from the coveted Indian civil service and return to India from England, where he was sent to appear for ICS exams. First, his top priority was to unshackle the motherland. That's why, leaving ICS those days, it was not an ordinary thing. He was sent to England to appear for ICS exam. What is important to remember is Netaji's vision and a legacy for building a strong India. His dynamic and courageous leadership during the freedom movement will continue to be a major source of inspiration to the people of this great nation, particularly the youth. Netaji firmly believed that for India's progress, we need to rise above the caste, creed, religion, and consider ourselves as Indians first. We may be Bengali, you may be a Nagaland person, or you may be Tamilian, Marathi. but first you are an Indian. This has to be remembered and practiced by everyone, irrespective of caste, creed, sex, religion and region. India is one. One nation, one people. That is the dream of Subhash Chandra Bose. His unwavering commitment to patriotism and nationalism not only brought people together, but also inspired them to join the Azad Hind Fauj. As far back as the 1940s, the soldiers of all castes, creed and religion lived together those days, ate together in common kitchens and fought as Indians first and last. This was possible because of the charismatic leadership of the great Subhash Chandra Bose. No wonder people used to call him Netaji, which means the respected leader. Netaji. Now you know Netaji means people have different about some Netajis. A leader, a respected leader, that is what is needed. Leaders, they should be respected, and respect cannot be demanded. It has to be commanded. Every leader of the country, in every sense, in every walk of life, they should remember this. By their talent, by their contribution, by their character, by their caliber, by their commitment, they should command respect. Not because he is something big, senior or senior leader or senior cadre, or because he is a senior ladder, because of his character, caliber, capacity and conduct, he should command respect. This is what is required. See the crisis we have faced, the pandemic, unprecedented, and the problems that have arisen. We have seen we are a big nation, 130 crores, so many states, so many parties, so many people in different locations, but we were able to fight the pandemic better than so-called developed nations, wealthy nations. One, because of the leader. Second, because of the leaders at different levels. State, we are a federal country, center, state, district, local bodies, but also officers from cabinet secretary to collector. Everybody worked together. That is the Team India spirit. We have exhibited, right of occasional political criticism and all. Okay, that is there in politics, that in modern politics. But when it comes to facing the challenge, everyone broadly has worked together. That's why we are able to come out of this. Of course, added to that is the people of the country. But also, of course, the warriors, the doctors, the medical staff, the sanitary people, the security forces, even the media, not lost, the farmers. In spite of all these adverse conditions, the farmers of India have produced more than normal year production. In spite of these grave challenges, hats off to the farmers. They have shown to the world the record. They are fearless. So that is the greatness of this country and the countrymen. Coming back to the issue, what I am trying to say is leader. There is a saying, I don't know whether it's there in other languages, Yatha Raja Tada Praja. If the leader is honest, is dynamic, is hardworking, is disciplined, then he will be able to inspire the cadre. If the leader himself is not committed or do not have that character and caliber or capacity, then he or she cannot inspire the people. That's what experience shows to us. So we need leaders. Leaders like Subhash Chandra Bose, fearless, courageous, dynamic, dedicated. That he gave up ICS and came back to join the freedom movement. That shows how he loved the country, not bother about his individual happiness. In his public speeches, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose emphatically advocated the need for abolition of caste system in India. Then, now this appeal, the advocacy is more important because how the caste is playing havoc. If the system, particularly and the politicians try to take advantage and then break up caste, religion. Their reality, religion is there, but they are not, should not be the priority. That's why I say when you select and elect leaders, you must see 4 C's. Character, caliber, capacity and conduct. But unfortunately in between, the other 4 C's entered. That is caste, community, cash, and then criminality. See the public life, this pollution because of this. So you need again to get back those original 4 C's. In every walk of life, not only in politics, even in selection. Of course, as to the administration, in various walks of life. Time and again, Subhash Chandra Bose used to stress that progress of India would be possible only with the uplift of the downtrodden and the marginalized sections. Taking care of the poorest of the poor, that should be the priority. This is what has been said by Mahatma Gandhi, by Dr. Ambedkar, by Deendayal Upadhyaya, by Ram Manohar Lohia, by many leaders. And it's a challenge to all of us. Be in politics or public life, in other works of service and all. Even after independence, still we have around 25% people below poverty line. We have illiteracy. We have social inequalities. We have gender discrimination here and there. We must, the youth of the country, the youngsters, they should all come forward to join a movement to fight against the social evils like corruption, social discrimination, gender discrimination, injustice, and also poverty eradication, illiteracy. We are a great country. Once upon a time, India used to be Vishwaguru. Now you have still around 20-22% of the people who are illiterate. That's a challenge. These are the challenges. Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, my dear youngsters, had a fierce sense of self-respect. One must not compromise on self-respect. There are innumerable examples right from his school days when he stood against injustice in every form. From school days, He had said, quote, "Forget not the grossest crime is to compromise with injustice and wrong." What a powerful message. Forget not that the greatest crime is to compromise with injustice and wrong. Everybody in service, everybody in public life, right from municipal council to chief minister to prime minister, everybody should remember these words. Forget not that the grossest crime is to compromise with injustice and wrong. Coming from a religious family background, Subhash Chandra Bose was deeply spiritual, was greatly influenced by the teachings of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Swami Vivekananda, and Sri Aurobindo, the great philosophers. His spirituality did not distance him from the problems faced by the countrymen. Spirituality does not mean total detachment from the public and then sitting and then doing some japa or tapa. Instead, he became a source of inner strength. Spirituality is to get inner strength. He developed an ethical approach to life. Spirituality tells you ethics, values in life. And his belief was based on sacrifice and renunciation, not mere pronunciation. Renouncing personal desires. They became the core democratic ideals of Subhash Chandra Bose. Netaji believed that for democracy to thrive in free India, our citizens must be imbibed the values of discipline, responsibility, service and patriotism. This is what Netaji desired. This is what is required even today. Every citizen must imbibe values of discipline. You follow discipline, then only you will be able to have a disciplined society, including following one-way traffic regulations, not bypassing the rules, being on time to the office, on time to the office. Responsibility, you must take up, accept the responsibility, you must be responsive. Service, share and care is the core of Indian philosophy. Share and care is the core of Indian philosophy. How do you get it? By doing some service, whatever service you can do. And patriotism, love for your motherland, love for your country, nationalism. Nationalism do not mean only say Jai Hind or singing Jananamana or Vande Mataram. Jai Hind means सभी भारतीयों को जय हो. Jai ho is possible and their needs are taken care. And they were fed properly. They have clothing. They have everything. They do not face discrimination. So that is why it's called as patriotism. There is a debate, sometimes people debate what is nationalism. Nation do not mean geographical boundaries. Everything in the nation, their welfare, is nationalism. My dear young friends, ours is a glorious civilization which embodies the values of share and care, and Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the entire universe is one family. That is the philosophy of which our forefathers have told to us. Netaji was proud of our civilizational values and our rich cultural heritage, which he felt formed the bedrock of our national pride and collective self-confidence. His self-confidence and determination are clearly reflected in the words when he said, quote, "Freedom is not given, it is taken." By freedom, Netaji do not mean merely emancipation from political bondage, but also equal distribution of wealth the abolition of caste barriers and social inequalities, and destruction of communalism and religious intolerance. You love your religion, practice your religion, but don't hate others. That is the greatness of our civilization. If you are intolerant, you will not be able to move on, grow on. You have to be tolerant. And this great country has so many examples. You must be tolerant to the other's view. Some people will sometimes argue, no, only hear our view. Otherwise, we say you are intolerant. The government is intolerant, or this person is intolerant. They go on for a campaign, and sometimes take it to international forums also. There is no country which is more tolerant than India. I can say openly that any country, any examples. And also we are such a great civilization where ordinary people, ordinary persons can become president of India, vice president, prime minister, chief minister. I come from an ordinary agricultural family. Nobody in my family were that much educated. I studied in a street school, but I could become the vice president, the second highest constitutional authority in India, because of our Indian people's mindset and thinking and our values. And we have so many examples like that. Prime Minister himself, the President himself. Subhash Chandra Bose said, the problem of giving bread to our starving millions, the problem of clothing and educating them, the problem of improving the health and physique of the nation, all these problems cannot be solved as long as India remains in bondage. This is what he has said. The physique of a nation is also equally important. Now we have learned lesson in this kind of physique. All youngsters, they must focus again on physical fitness. If you are physically fit, you will be mentally alert. If you are lazy, then you will become crazy. Mind do not work. Fitness is that's why this yoga. Now, of course, it's not that the Prime Minister introduced yoga. He is stressing on yoga, but it was ancient Indian art, part of our culture. It brings unity of mind and body. So everyone must practice yoga in whatever form you like. Do some physical fitness. Exercise of your choice. So the physique of the nation, our ability to withstand just recall the pandemic. Why probably no farmer is affected by pandemic. No agriculture labor is affected by the pandemic. Affected is physically, not otherwise. They lost their livelihood also, and then government has to come to the rescue. Two reasons. I want to tell you all youngsters, because you are also going to deal with public. You have to guide. One is the physical fitness, they do a lot of physical activity. Second is the environment they live in. Air circulation is very important. You can sit without mask in an open place. That's why rural area not many were affected. And secondly, physical fitness, they work hard. Some of us in urban areas, everything is closed. The car closed, the office closed, the halls closed. And then if you go home, they are also closed. Everything is air conditioned, permanent also is conditioned. Open. That's why I've been suggesting now. The other day, I was releasing a book on urban planning law. Of late, I started stressing on the need for urban planners, architects, and designers to keep air circulation. Air and light are very vital for human existence and healthy body and healthy mind. All institutes, residences must also have proper. Our system was, our Vastu, original Vastu, not this fake, not the one now everybody says, no, this is wrong, that is wrong. You destroy, you dismantle this and you construct something, you become. That is not connected with your wealth. Originally it was sun, light entering, air circulation, water movement, public conveyance. These are the things that used to guide our architecture. We should plan. And also the comfort. The other day I was brutally telling, I saw a house, newly acquired house of my daughter. And then I was going around to the rooms. It was not constructed by her, it was constructed by somebody she has taken. So I went to washroom. Washroom, wash basin. I opened the tap. The water instead of falling in the wash basin, part of it was falling on me also. He said, what is this? They said, that is, who has done this? There is one architect and also interior designer. I said, can you call him? He said, sir, he's a lady. No problem, call him. He came later and she met me. And then I told her about all this. He said, my friends, see, those days there used to be one light in the house because there used to be light. Now most of the offices, most of the rooms are all see this also. 20, 30, 40 lights. There are immense of them. And in most, if you happen to stay in hotels and you know the lights, they do not throw light. They are not bright. Even in restaurants also. I asked them what is the reason. Well, you should not see the originality of what you are eating. It is right to sense. We have to revisit all this in view of the experiences. I told that she's an youngster. I don't want to discourage her. So I told her, see, many things are good, but certain things. Think about the priority to be given to comfort or to aesthetics and fashion. I told her in Telugu. I asked her if you understand Telugu. She said yes. I said, Saukaryama, Saundaryama. Saukaryam means comfort. Saundaryam means fashion. About fashion, if it is not convenient to you, what is the fun of it? We should really think on these lines. Coming back to the issue of the living.